Welcome, Illumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. It's Lorcana release day. I don't mean the Gen Con release day, and I don't mean the LGS release day, and I don't mean the big box store release day, or the actual big box store release day that happened a few days before the big box store release day because people just put stuff on the shelves early. And I don't mean the theme park store release day, which should have been at the same time as the LGS release day, we actually sat between the LGS release day and the big box store release day. And I don't mean the restock release day that we should be getting in October, and I don't mean the reprint release day that we're going to be getting Q1 2024. I mean the GameStop release day, because for some reason GameStop get their own release day. But I actually want to go back to the LGS release day for this video. I've sort of argued with myself about making this video for a few weeks now. It was sort of niggling in the back of my mind all the way through my recent vacation. But now I'm back and managed to catch up on the Lorcana scene. I feel like this is a topic worth talking about because I do have a little bit of a platform here, and I do think it's something that's worth putting out there for people to shout at me about. And that is that I think local game stores screwed the launch of Lorcana. Before I go further into my point, I always think it's worth talking about biases when giving your opinion on the internet. I am a manager of a game store. I don't own it, but I am one of the managers, and we were lucky enough to be included in the hobby program for Lorcana, and we actually got a relatively decent amount of product. As did, honestly, most game stores. It was always said from very early on that Ravensburger were going to have a focus on game stores, and the majority of the product was going to be put into them. And then when game stores started hearing that they were getting maybe 24 booster boxes and a handful of other bits and bobs, it just started to sound a little bit like like a lie, honestly. But now I think we've seen how much stuff has gone into big box stores. Most Walmart's getting maybe 2 boxes and a dozen of the starter decks. A lot of other stores getting a handful of other things. Even Walt Disney World itself getting just gift sets and starter sets and selling out within a few hours. It goes to show that yes, actually this is just an incredibly limited print run, and the majority of it went to game stores. So where is it all? Unfortunately, Ravensburger idea that the game stores would get hold of this product a few weeks early, make sure it gets out there into the community and into people's hands who are going to be wanting to play the game before it all gets bought up off the shelves of Walmart and Target by scalpers, just didn't really, unfortunately, happen. And that's mostly due to game stores being greedy. Game stores across the country, in North America, I will say this seems to be a North America problem. Europe seemed to got a lot more product and was able to distribute it better, I think. So it does seem to be North America specifically I'm talking about here. But game stores across North America basically just charged through the roof. And obviously I'm not saying all game stores did this. My game store certainly didn't do this, and I know of others that didn't. But a good chunk of them, I would say maybe 80-90% of them, basically charge scalp prices for Lorcana because they think they can make a quick buck, I guess. I'm sure there are game store employees or owners or people who just want to stick up for them for some reason typing into the comments furiously as I speak. So I'm going to try and sort of preempt some of the remarks and answer them one by one. If we don't sell it at market price, our customers will have to buy it from scalpers. So if you're not even giving them the chance to buy it at a decent price, then it doesn't really matter, does it? They're having to pay scalped prices, whether that's to you or to some random who cleared out the shelves of Walmart. It just isn't a valid argument to say that you're doing this for the good of your community when all you're doing is making the community give you too much money instead of somebody else too much money. I think it's worth pointing out at this point that MSRP is more of an art than a science, the S obviously meaning suggested. And really, MSRP can only truly be honoured in a country where the manufacturer of the game or the producer of the game actually sells direct to the stores. Ravensburger can say there's a Canadian MSRP, for instance, all they like, but Ravensburger aren't selling me the product. I'm buying it from a distributor, and the distributor is well within their rights to charge what they like for it. So a lot of the time, product from a game store can be a little bit expensive compared to what you would pay for it in a big box store or from online. It's purely just economics. For instance, we don't technically sell Lorcana at MSRP. We have a regular markup that we charge on our product, and it actually sits about 50 cents a pack over MSRP, but I still think that's well within the sort of area of up and downness that you could expect from smaller businesses. But when I'm selling packs at $8 compared to the $7 MSRP, and a store down the road from me is selling them for $17, then you can hopefully see a problem. Well, if we sold it on day one, it would all just get bought up by scalpers anyway, so don't all sell it on day one. I haven't had a single person walk in my store, ask about Lorcana, buy some, and walk out. Every single single piece of product I've received for Lorcana has gone out to people who are playing the game. Now, if somebody comes in and asks about it, I tell them all about our league. I tell them to come out on a Saturday morning and play the game, and they can borrow one of the starter decks we have for use. If they dig it and feel like they'd like to play more, we have starter decks we can sell them. We have packs that we can sell them. I still have about half of what I received as a store to sell to my customers who come and play the game. I'm actually building a community. Who'd have thought? Charging ridiculous prices for product is not a way to stagger product out of the door. It's a way for you to get an extra vacation. The way you stagger product out the door is to earmark it for events, earmark it to new people coming in who genuinely seem interested, earmark it for your regulars, and filter the product out over the weeks to make sure that more of it gets into more people's hands. We ran a starter deck tournament at the original launch, and then everybody has been coming out with their starter decks, buying a couple of packs each week, and it's almost been like a slow grow league. They've been able to add cards into their packs and keep working on it, and everyone's playing and enjoying themselves. Also, a good chunk of our products has been open for singles, and we're able to sell those at slightly better than market rate too, to get stuff into people's hands. Some products really tank, so when we do get a good product on, we have to make money on it, else we'll have to close. I absolutely love this one. Imagine going into Walmart and bananas being 5 times the price they were yesterday, and when you ask why, it's because we had a cool summer so the AC units haven't sold. Yes, local game stores are incredibly difficult businesses to run. The margins are usually quite small, and you're very often at the beholden of how well certain products do. But if you're stuck with product that isn't selling and you have to scalp price another product just to stay open, that's just bad business. And isn't really anybody's fault but your own. Yes, some magic sets don't sell as well as others, but research them, look into them, find out how much you need to bring in. Talk to your customers. I can only assume that stores that are more than happy to charge triple or quadruple the regular price of stuff just don't have regular customers. They must just have people coming in and buying stuff and never coming back again because it's so expensive. But a good game store should have a tight community that they are able to discuss product with, decide whether it's going to be popular, and order accordingly. Yes, occasionally you'll end up with a bit of stuff that just isn't shifting. But at that point, it's down to you to discount that stuff to get it off the shelf, not hike something else up to cover it. I kind of feel like I'm going to be preaching to the choir here, and everyone that agrees with me is going to have agreed with me at the start of this video, and everyone who doesn't probably already made their mind up. And I know full well there's going to be game store owners who are sitting there laughing at me and thinking, well, I don't really care what you think. I made an extra $10,000 on the launch of Lorcana. Well, that's great. You made an extra 10 grand on a weekend in August. Do you know what I made? 30 or 40 new customers. Customers that weren't playing a TCG before but are now interested because it's Disney. Customers that are coming out every Saturday to play. Buying some packs, buying some singles, trading and playing games with new people and making new friends and making new memories and attaching those memories to my store. Customers who have all bought a membership to be able to play in the back. Customers who are buying pop and chips and candy and sleeves and playmats. Customers who are remembering that my store was the one that got product into people's hands as best as it could. So I didn't make an extra 10 grand in August. I still think what I did make is almost priceless. I don't know how seriously Ravensburger are going to take this, whether we'll see any punishment for stores that sold at 300 or 400% over cost. If they do, I'll happily take their allotment and sell it at a regular price. But just remember, when you go into your local game store to pick up some Lorcana and they're charging $15 to $20 a pack, whatever excuse they give you, just remember, it tells you exactly what they think of you. Let's end on a slightly nicer note. If you have a game store near you that has sold the products at a decent price and got it into your hands, let me know about them. I want to hear loads of awesome comments down below about the great game stores across the country. Until the next slightly happier video, I hope. I love you all to bits. Be good.